Hey, Kid Life. When Jesus was on this earth, there were crowds that would gather around him. They wanted to hear his wise words, and they also would hear about the miracles that he would do. There was this one particular day where he saw a crowd gathering, and so he went with his disciples up a mountainside, and he taught them what it meant to live for God and how to be able to show God's love to other people. In his group, there was a man named Matthew, and he wrote down everything that Jesus spoke that day. And we can find it in the book of Matthew. And that is our very first book of the New Testament. And this is what it says. And this is what he wrote down. You are the salt of the earth, but suppose the salt loses its saltiness. How can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything. It will be thrown out, and people will walk all over it. And let's see what Jesus had to say. He said, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill can't be hidden. Also, people do not light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand. Then it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine so others can see it. Then they will see the good things you do, and they will bring glory to your Father who is in heaven. And so we're going to break this down to see what Jesus meant by this. So the first thing that he said was, you are the salt of the earth. And now we know that salt is really important for a lot of things. It makes our popcorn taste better. When we add it to desserts, it gives it the perfect sweet and salty flavor. We also know if there's the right amount of salt in our body to make it work properly. And during this time when Jesus spoke these things, salt was extremely valuable. It had several different purposes, but one of the main purposes that it had was it kept the food fresh because back then, they did not have refrigerators like we do now. And so salt was really important to them. And the second thing that he said is, you are the light of the world. So we also know that with a light is super important. We know, obviously, that it helps us see. If we had it dark, we wouldn't be able to see anything. But when we turn on the light, we are able to see things. It also helps guide us. Just like a lighthouse guides sailors in the ocean, that's what it helps us too. And another thing that light does is it gives us hope when our situation may seem dark or scary. When we believe in Jesus, his light shines in us, and he tells us not to hide it, but to let it shine bright. And here's a question for you guys. Why does he say to be like salt and light? And I'm going to remind you guys of what I just read earlier. It said, let your light shine so others can see it. Then they will see the good things you do, and they will bring glory to your Father who is in heaven. And so that goes to show our actions and what we do. We are able to show people the love of God in our words and the things that we do. It may be helping someone in need and stopping everything we're doing. It may be working with someone to solve a problem. But the biggest thing that we're talking about today is knowing that God created you to share his story. And he has made you unique in your own way. And this whole month we've been talking about being creative. And God has created us in his image. And he has created us with different gifts and different talents. And we could use those to help others, to show others love. And so we know in our story that God talked about salt. And when he said that we are like salt, he was just saying that we were created for a big purpose, and that is to help other people and to make things better for the people around us. When he said that we were like light, it's to be able to bring hope to other people. and to show them how much God loves them. And in all of this, we can think, how can we be salt and light to other people? Like I said, we are made with different gifts, different talents. That may be sending a note to a friend. It may be spending time with your siblings. It may be helping your parents out or cheering someone up if they're having a bad day. There's so many different things that we could do, but I want you guys to know and to remember this really important thing is that God created you to share his story.